Hello, welcome to the Northeastern. What you're looking at is a Springside Models yard crane, 3-ton one. Do you remember a while back I made a couple of platforms and I made a specific platform to sit a yard crane on? Well, this finally arrived today and I have laid out the parts ready. Here's the platform's going to go on eventually. Here's all the parts, and here is the instructions. Here's the instructions, and it's fairly basic. What you need to do the job is a soldering iron and some epoxy resin. But before we do any of it, we have to make sure that it's all here. And it seems to all be here. So, first things first, we have to make sure that all our parts are clean. As you can see, you've got lots of rough edges and what have you on all the parts. So just get a file and just file it off. And you've got to make sure they're all clean as well. It's a big old lump that on the end of there. Let's see if we can just cut that off. There you go, let's snip that off. Now we can just round the edge over a little bit. Right, that's the base done-ish. Okay, it's base done. So what I'll do is I'll clean up all the parts and then I'll get back to you once it's all done. Okay, I've cleaned up a few bits. Cleaned up the base plinth for the jib, and the two sides, and the front plate. So what I've got to do first is solder this plate to this side plate. Goes on like so. So I'll set it up using my little hands. It's only till I get the first tack on there and then I can... Okay, that's there. And soldering iron now should be warm enough. A little bit of solder on there. Okay, that's the first tack on. As you can see, I've got the first tack on in that corner. Try and get the second tack on. Okay, that's on. Got one in the middle. There you go. So that's that bit done. This will be hot now, and it's not too bad. It's for square. There you go. That's the first piece. Woo! Right, the next piece to go on is this plate here, which goes in there. So I'm going to have to use my helping hands again. Just twist that around. Okay, that looks square. So let's try and get in there. Tiny bit of solder. Get the first stitch on. She goes, that's one bit. Try and get that one down there. Okay, one in the middle. Okay, that's that bit done. Hopefully the other side, which it should just sit on there nicely, and it does. Like so. But before that gets stitched on there, I've got to put all the gubbins inside yet. So we shall have a look at them now. Right, there's only three pieces to go inside. Okay, the next bit I have to do is fit this little first dolly into here. Should only need a couple of tacks to hold that in there. So I'll use my helping hand again. These are handy, these. Just to hold that on there. And that one goes in that hole there. So let's just hold that in place. There's a bit more access on there. Get that off. There's still a bit more there as well. I was just rocking in there. I don't know if you noticed that. Oh, that's it, stop rocking now. That's it. So just need a tiny bit of solder. Just get a little tack on there. A little bit warm, that. Okay, that just holds that in place. Because eventually that will go on there. That's good. Hole lines up. Okay. Right. Just got to clean off the excess now. Right, what else needs to go in there? Need to put in this cog next, which goes on the back. About there. If in doubt, get the big boy out. Right. Let's put tiny tack on there. Right, I do apologise for the camera going off. Seem to have ran out of power during the last video. I do apologise for that. Anyway, I seem to have carried on a little bit. So what I've done is, I don't know if you can see in there, but I've put a seam weld where the tacks were. So that's seam welded through there and down that side as well. So all I did was heated up the soldering iron, started from the back tack and blended it all in right the way through. So that's the whole body now complete. Right, so the next part of the task would be to mount it on its base. The base has been cleaned up, which is there, and that just sits on there and it spins around lovely at the moment. And there's a washer which goes on, which sits over the top of that. And what we do is just heat that up. What we do then is just heat that up and solder that bit on. And then we can start on the jib and the cogs and all the other workings that go on it. Right, so I'm just waiting for the soldering iron to warm up a little bit. And we do that. So in the meantime, I've still got a few bits to clean up. Got this to clean up while waiting, so I might as well do that. Very delicate parts these are, all. Quite soft metal. Let's try this one's a little bit smaller. Oh no. Snapped it. Oh dear. So it's not a problem. Solder that back together. So it just shows you how delicate these pieces are. Bit of luck, that should solder back together. Can only happen live on TV. Okay, disaster averted. That was lucky. Just goes to show you how brittle these pieces are. Right. Do now then, go back to the original pan, put that on there. Plenty of solder. Get a little tack on there. And a little tack on there. Try and blend it all the way around. I'm going to have to get my Dremel out later to clean that up a little bit. That's good enough, it still turns. Yep. Okay, that's done in there now. It's soldered on. Just needs freeing up a little bit. see where there's a little bit there, it's caught. Give it a bit of a clean up. Okay, that needs a little bit of freeing up now, so once that's done I shall get back to you. Okay, I've cleaned it up inside as best as I could, and I've had to put a bit of oil down in between the joint there to free it up a little bit, but that spins around nicely now and it sits on there nice and flat, hardly any wobble at all. So the next part is to put all the rest of the gubbins on, all the cogs, and let's have a look. So we've got large cog, that's reasonably clean, just the odd burr here, there and there, which goes on there. Like so. Right, there's a small pin to go through there. Let's find out which one's red. So this one, the plain pin, is the second one down, so it's that one. Which has a small beam on it. Just to open up the hole a little bit. There you go, just a tiny dab of solder on that. Go through there. Onto there. Tiny dab of solder onto there. So, that's that one done. There you go, that's them first two pieces on. And what have we got now? Alright, we've got this pin. Which goes right away through from the other side. Okay, so that goes on there. Right, and a little bit of solder on that one. Okay, I've just fitted the guard on there. 3 little tacks, 1, two and one underneath. So the next bit is to fit the handle onto there, which is going to be a little bit trickier because it's such a tiny little handle, as you can see. So I'm going to use my little hands for this job, I think. There you go, that's the little handle on there. Just needs to file that a little bit. Gently, of course. Okay, that's the first handle on. It's got a set of guards to go on this side yet. It goes over the top of there. That goes on there like that, but I think we'll leave it there and get back to you later.